Well, hello, people on Facebook. It's been a week or two with no videos, so I figured I'd make a video. Well, I had that Marantz receiver for sale. The thing's like, it is brand new. It wasn't even really used. It was bought. They hooked it up and just never used it. It just sat there. I decided I'm going to keep it. I just got to pull it off the listings on Facebook. I'd be giving it away for $75. So I'm doing some mods on it, though. You're like, oh my god, why is he tearing a brand new receiver apart? You know, I got the tuner module out of it. I've got the analog input board out of it right now. Only because that was the only way I could reach the audio preamplifier and digital switching network. What we have here is we have digital over here, which takes all these signals from HDMI, you know, through the decoder, and down mixes and up mixes video. So you can put in 1.1 and come out with 2.0 and all that other stuff. Also the monitor driver, because this receiver supports monitor output on all setups and function and everything else. So, you know, it has its own video. And let's see, as I said, this is the digital switch right here, which enables this long chain right here of capacitors. Okay, is isolation caps on the positive audio line. You got your subwoofers and centers and rears and fronts. Now, what I wanted to do, the only reason why I was going to sell it, I was pissed off. It did not have a tape monitor function. And I like tape monitor. That's where I run my equalizer and everything through. But once I was reading the manual, I was noticing this thing's 96 kilohertz sample rate and everything else on the digital opticals and all that. I was like, no way I'm going to get rid of that for $75. No way in hell. You know, it's a full amplifier. It's not a Darlington pack amplifier. So we got full, you know, discrete transistors for all channels on it. You know, right down the line here. You can see each one of them has each pair has its own bias control. She does 80 watts per channel, 8 ohm. She'll do 105 in 4 ohm. But needless to say, what I'm going to do is I'm going to utilize the tape selection on this. Okay, the tape in and out. I'm going to utilize that as a preamplifier pass-through. So therefore, I can run an equalizer on it or anything else I want to pass audio through. So therefore, it would give me equalizer functions just to get that cleaner audio. I always try to go for the best. Because, you know, the room acoustics here just kind of suck ass. But what this is entailing is doing some fine surgery here. As you can see, I got one cap laid down. I disconnected it. I don't know. Kind of hard to point it out down there. But we unhooked it, as you can see, from its trace over here. This is our left channel. That's our right channel. The cap is the output. The board is the input. So all I need to do, isolate these four right here, which is our tape in and tape out. Okay. We can go direct from the cap to the outputs because they're isolated with these caps. Then I'll utilize these caps right here as isolators for the inputs right on the board where they would normally go. So therefore, it is 100% correct. isolated and safe, so there will be no blowing these audio preamplifiers up, which there's one hell of a lot of them in this amplifier. As you can see, there's a whole row here. Then they got a discrete preamplifier section, which comes through this data bus and drives the main amplifier down there. So you got preamplifier level 1. You got your analog preamplifier. Okay, so you got your digital to analog here, which are mixed right here at this point on these two caps for front and rears. Okay, that's all I'm going to tap. I'm going to leave the centers and everything else just the way they're supposed to be. Then they drive down here to these. Okay, as you see up here, there's only a fronts right and left. But down here, what happened? All of a sudden we got 6. It's because they run off of this, they go into this and it's processed to separate for your surround sound and stuff like that in analog mode, which is bypassed in digital because you don't need to emulate it because it will be direct. But in analog, this is engaged. That preamplifier runs up into here, and it comes off of this, and is now split into a true front, center, and rear. Okay, then you got your surrounds and subwoofer. Then they go into a preamplifier buffer right here, all those chips down there. Okay, then you got your isolation caps on each one of the outputs, which goes into a very low-powered push-pull preamplifier network right here, okay, which drives the main amplifier down here. So, you know, technically, I could actually tap each output of these and get about 1/4 of a watt of power off of each output of these two push-pull networks, which would be enough to hear speakers, but who'd want to hear that low power? But it's totally self-supporting, this whole board. So, you know, technically I could take this whole main board out of here and still get audio without the need of the amplifier. I can disconnect this control line here, I can pull that off, and I can pull this off, and this will still have audio output. I've already tried it. It's kind of weird, but it does work. But that's as far as I've gotten right now. But it does look like a mess because, well, it's in the middle of being operated on. But it's not being really heavily modified. All I'm doing is I'm opening up this audio right here and just putting something in between, which is going to be on those jacks. And if you're not going to put anything on there, I've got the little horseshoe jumpers. So if you're not going to run an EQ or anything on it, you just put the jumpers in. And it'll be like this is never modified. It'll be just factory stock. It just, the auxiliary input will no longer have an input, that's all. But it's got so many inputs on it. I think the auxiliary, or tape I mean, I think tape is like the last selection through all the menus of the outputs. So the tape is going to be the least thing missed. But yep, that's the Marantz. As I said, it's mint. I thought I had a scratch, but I don't. There is not as much as a scratch on this sucker. You know, it's just mint. So yeah, selling it for $75 would have been like giving it away. So I think I'm going to just keep it, get my mods. That amplifier right there is what I've been using for my computer, right there, which is 120 watts per channel. Yes, this is only 80 watts per channel at 4 ohm, but I don't know. I like that amp, but I also like this because I can run off my Creative Labs, my digital optical line, which is right here. Fiber optic audio, you know, at high bit rate, which sounds a hell of a lot better than the analog. I mean, there's no comparison between The analog and that digital output. It's the difference between night and day. You know, it's like listening to a little pocket AM radio versus listening to, you know, flat lossless audio, you know, between the two. It's just phenomenal. So that's enough of my mumbling. More when I either get it functioning or blow it up. Even if I blow it up, I'll still make another video and say, well, people, I screwed up. But I doubt that I'll be making that video. Because this is just too damn simple. Alright, catch you later. See ya. Oh, we got her working. That's EQ bypass. That's the EQ. Just going into those things. So far, so good. It does pass my tests. At least for now.
These are called for census. The boss wanna know what's going on. So Joseph and Mary hit the road.
That's bypass. No EQ, just this.
Talking about a hell of a walk. They had no place to
There,
stay.
we just punch the EQ
They
in.
tried the M's in the hotels. The message was plain as day. You get no refuge, no respite, and no sanctuary here. No refuge, no respite, and no sanctuary here.
And as you can see, it's nothing to do with the preamp. I could use a little more drive on it though, I noticed. Does seem a little low.
And a baby boy they named Miguel. On the other side of the line is heaven.
That's just a file playing off of YouTube.
So you do what it takes, pick up stakes, and try to escape the drought. But when you get to the ball of the INS, they got the welcome wagon out. You get no refuge, no respite, and no sanctuary here. No refuge.
But it looks okay. It's a little kludgy, but hey, what do you expect at 2:30 in the morning? But it's functional. Got my isolation caps I added to it, and just tapped onto the other isolation caps. You know, this way, no matter what the source is I plug into this port, it's still going to be isolated. So therefore it will pass no DC current through it. I do believe that I lost a little bit of drive, because under testing, those were pegging right out to the top. And after I hooked it up, it's not doing that. And the only difference is during testing, I was just using the these caps. Now I've incorporated those, so I don't believe that the 10 microfarad is going to work. I need a 100 microfarad cap, and I won't have any attenuation after that. I could probably go without them, but I prefer not to. You know, isolation caps are there for a reason. You know, if a device messes up or anything else, it won't pass DC voltage into your circuit. That's why there's isolation caps. But yeah, you could bypass every one of these and it'll still function, provided nothing goes wrong. Anything goes wrong, these caps are what protects all those preamp chips. You know, they're just there for safety precautions. Alright, catch you later. Just to give you an update on it. Now I gotta add the other boards in here, put the tuner back in, get all that stuff plugged in. Got a little bit of work out of me yet, but just wanted to give you an update that it is functional. So, catch you later. See ya.